Neuroscientists call it pre-commitment, Navy SEALs call it locking the back door, and I call it the cheat code for consistency. Do this 10-second trick tonight, and tomorrow's productivity won't be a debate, it will be automatic. Last week I was in a deep rut. I would stay up all night watching movies, scrolling through social media, avoiding the tasks. I had a lot of things and tasks to do, but I would just ditch them and start watching movies and avoid everything. And I was ordering food from outside, I was not taking care of myself, I wouldn't walk or work out or anything, and I was completely in avoidance mode, and I didn't want to do anything the whole night. Every day I would tell myself that tonight I will sleep early, but at night I would open an app and suddenly it was 4 a.m. and I was totally disconnected from the life that I wanted. I knew that I had to change something, but I was not able to make myself to change. Then I remembered a video I once saw about Jerry Seinfeld, about how he was a famous comedian and he would write jokes every single day, and every day that he would write joke he would cross off that day, and his only goal was that don't break the chain. And I knew that if I wanted to become successful in anything, the only shortcut was to never miss a day, and I had to work every single day without caring if I feel like it or not. That's why I went to the store, I grabbed some paper, scissors, and some other stuff, and I came back home and I built a habit tracker by hand and I put it on the wall because I wanted to be visible. And I wrote down some habits that I had to track, and I thought with myself, if I can do this for the next 90 days, after those 90 days it will become automatic for me and I don't need to use my willpower to follow with those healthy habits. So I decided to do this 90-day challenge. The next day I woke up, but I still was in avoidance mode, and I started watching movies and avoiding everything. I did the same thing the next day as well. So 2 days passed and I was not doing anything. So finally, when I was watching movie the other night, I was very frustrated and I was in avoidance mode, and I thought with myself how great it would be if I could just start and just get it done. I stood in front of my habit tracker, and then instead of planning the next day, I checked off the tomorrow's task as done. I told myself, that's it, tomorrow no matter what I'm doing this, it's already marked as done, so it's happening. The next morning I didn't hesitate, I walked, I worked, and I followed through. No debate, no guilt, no pressure, I just honored it. Since then I've been using this every single night. I call it the reverse success system because it flips the way we think about progress. You act like it's already done and then you just do it. And it was very effective for me because the next morning when I woke up, I just did it because I said I don't want to ruin my tracker, I don't want to ruin this check mark that I have already done, so it's already there, I might as well just do it. How you can do this? So pick a task that supports your goal, something small and realistic to start with. The task should be specific, clear, and achievable. Then create a visual tracker, like you can use a calendar or create your own habit tracker, or you can download a digital habit app. Before going to bed, go to your tracker, put a check mark or a cross or the work done next to tomorrow's tasks or habits that you're tracking, and this way you're telling your brain that I've already done this. This tiny pre-commitment tricks your mind into believing that it's part of your identity, and then let the tension work for you. The next morning your brain sees that check mark. Now you'll feel a sudden sense of pressure, an internal drive to just do the task and to stay in integrity with yourself. That's what gets you to act even if you're tired, unmotivated, or distracted. Don't debate, don't negotiate, just do what's already done on the paper. You're not making a choice at the moment, you're just honoring a promise that you have already made, and then repeat it every single day for the next 90 days. After 90 days it's completely a habit and you don't need any willpower or anything, it will be just automatic and you can just do it. So create the habit tracker. The night before just check mark the task or write down on it, and the next morning, because you've already made a pre-commitment and you've already made a promise, you will just follow through. Then repeat the same process every single day. And now I will tell you that why this works. So I put this situation in ChatGPT and I asked that why this happened and why it works. It said because it's a pre-commitment, and pre-commitment is when you make a decision in advance, locking yourself into a future action before the moment of temptation or resistance even arrives. It's saying I already made the choice, I don't have to decide later, I just have to follow through. You're creating constraints on your future behavior to eliminate hesitation, reduce friction, and build discipline without relying on motivation or emotions. So you remove the future debate. And most people fail to act because they enter a negotiations with themselves. They say, should I do this now? Should I take a break first? I don't feel like it right now. maybe later. So pre-commitment removes this negotiation, and you're not making the decision in the morning when your willpower is low, when you don't feel like it. You've already made the decision the night before. You create internal pressure without needing any willpower. Pre-commitment doesn't rely on hype, motivation, or positive vibes. It creates psychological tension, a subtle pressure that says you already made this promise and now follow through. Most people, they wake up and hope they feel motivated. They rely on how they feel in the moment, make emotional decisions instead of strategic ones. But the people who win consistency, they make decisions early, they remove the temptation and set up environments that pull them into action, and that's pre-commitment. With this trick that we mark off the tomorrow's work as already done, we have simply taken the concept of pre-commitment and made it visible and trackable using our habit tracker. It bypasses the whole do I feel like it trap. This is one of the most powerful reasons that why the reverse success system works, because it helps you stop relying on how you feel in the moment and start relying on a pre-made decision. This is the mental loop most people get stuck in every day. They wake up with goals or a to-do list, but when it's time to act, their brain starts asking, do I feel like it right now? Should I take a break now? Maybe I'll just start tomorrow. Maybe I'll just watch a movie. Maybe I'll just use my phone for today, and I start totally fresh in the morning. This moment of emotional questioning is where momentum dies, because most of the time, let's be real, you won't feel like it, especially if you're tired, when you're overwhelmed, when the reward is far away, or when the behavior is new. This is when most people delay, distract, and quit entirely. What the reverse success system does in a state, it removes the decision in that valuable moment. You already made the choice last night. You already marked it as done the other night. You've already committed to being the kind of person that follows through. So when the time comes the next day, you are no longer asking, do I feel like it? You are telling yourself, this is already done. I need to catch up with my own decisions. No emotion, no debate, no mental trap. And you're separating decision making from execution. And instead of viewing your habit as a suggestion, you treat it like a standard. And this removes uncertainty, which is where most resistance starts. When the moment arrives and you have to do something, now you don't decide based on how you feel at that moment, but you decide based on the decision that you have already made. And this is how discipline actually looks like. Discipline doesn't mean forcing yourself every single day. It means you set up a system where emotions don't get a vote. This is what elite performers do. For example, a soldier doesn't wait to feel ready. He just follows orders. This reverse success system, you become the commander and the soldier. You give the orders at night and you follow through in the morning. No questions asked. If you let your feelings to decide your actions, you will always favor your present self. You will always choose the easy tasks. But if you decide in advance, you will serve your future self, and that's how transformations happen. And this way you're eliminating hesitation, which is where most procrastinations starts. Most people think that procrastination is about laziness or lack of motivation, but it's not. The real moment where procrastination starts is usually in the first few seconds, the space between I should do this or I'm going to do this. So that's hesitation, and the longer that you wait, the harder it is to act. So in that hesitation moment, your brain starts throwing mental resistance at you. Maybe I'll do later, I'll take a break, maybe I'll start tomorrow. This becomes a loop, a negotiation, a trap. And the longer that you hesitate, the more excuses your brain will throw at you until the opportunity is totally gone. So if you can remove the hesitation, you can remove the possibility of procrastination before it starts. And that's exactly what this reverse success system does. Without the system, you wake up and ask, should I do this today? With this system, you wake up and you already have a decision locked in. Without this system, you hesitate, you weigh options, and you get distracted. With the system, there are no distractions, there is no hesitation, the task is already marked as complete. The key idea is that the decision is already made. You can escape the hesitation entirely. You don't give your brain a chance to create excuses. You cut off the debate before it starts. And also, you're flipping the way your brain handles responsibilities. Most people treat responsibility like a reaction, like they say, I'll see how I feel tomorrow, I'll try to eat healthy this week. This mindset is passive. You're handing control over to your future self, who, let's be honest, is usually tired, distracted, and overwhelmed. In this model, responsibility is delayed, action is optional, and execution unemotional, and that's why it fails. With this trick, what you do instead is that when you mark tomorrow's task as already done, you're doing something radically different. You're flipping responsibility from reactive to pre-owned. You will say, I've already handled this, I've already committed, and I've already succeeded. I just need to match my behavior to success. In this model, responsibility is preloaded, action is non-negotiable, and execution becomes neutral, not based on how you feel at the moment, but based on the decision that you've already made. So by marking the task done in advance, you create a gap between what your brain believes that you've already done and what you've actually done, and this gap generates cognitive tension, and your brain wants to resolve it. Your brain doesn't want to carry the weight of a broken promise, so it moves towards resolution, which means taking action. You're no longer pushing yourself, you're being pulled by your own responsibility. You become the leader, not the reactor. The biggest flip here is this: most people wait to respond to the day, but you're already leading the day the night before. You're not asking what should I do, you're saying I've already done it, let's honor that. It's like making a decision outside the battlefield when you're totally calm and you're rational. So when you're inside the battle, the choice is already made. That's leadership and self-mastery. You're not flipping the task, you're flipping a mindset from I'll try to be responsible to I already took responsibility, now I just need to act on it. And that shift from reaction to ownership is what turns habits into identity, and discipline is something that sticks. So that was how I got out of rut this time. I was avoiding everything, I was wasting the whole days and weeks, so I decided that I will just mark it as done, and the next day I just did the task because I didn't want to ruin my habit tracker, and I said that I already marked it as done, so my mind believed that I finished this task. So I just started doing the task without any debate or any decision fatigue or anything, because there was no hesitation, a decision was already made, and so I took the responsibility and I took action. So if you're hesitant about this, create a habit tracker, put the day and the date and everything, and track your habits for the next 90 days, and every night just mark the tomorrow's task as already done, and the next morning you'll see that you will have an internal pressure that you just have to do it because you've already marked it as done, and your mind has already believed that you've already completed it, so you might as well just go and do it. So that's all I got for today. If you like this video and you can relate to these types of videos, please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel, and I'll see you in the next videos.